Welcome back to the Commanders Declassified, your home for all things Washington Commanders, your 2-1 Washington Commanders, your NFC East leading Washington Commanders, your just beat the Cincinnati Bengals Washington Commanders. We are back. We have a franchise quarterback. Eric, what'd you think about the Cincinnati game?
Well, that was fun, wasn't it? There's nothing negative I can say about Daniel's play. I think that the broadcast team, Troy Aikman, who I'm not always a huge fan of, I think he was like spot on with like he said exactly what I've been saying like since last season about Jayden Daniels, and he kind of you got to saw my range of emotions play out on TV because that's exactly like what happened to him. Is by the end of the game, he was like, "Dude, he's doing everything he's supposed to do now. Like that's exactly what we wanted to see, and he's doing it." So yeah, I'm a huge Jayden Daniels guy right now. That was a massive game for him and just a huge step in the right direction, getting, building that trust with the receiving group, not just Terry McLaurin, who obviously had a huge game, but Noah Brown had a couple of nice grabs. Luke McCaffrey got in there and made a few grabs. So the offense was on point. We're going to leave the defense to Mr. Mike from Southwest down there. He can he can trash them because they needed every one of those 38 points that they got last night. But man, that was a fun game to watch.
It was highly enjoyable. Mike, what were your thoughts about it?
I think besides the game, what I'm gonna remember from last night is the fan reactions from on social media to people at my job, people in the streets, yada yada. But the most memorable fan reaction I'm gonna remember, I'm not gonna drop my relation to him or nothing like that. But I got a text message after the second McLaurin touchdown, the one that sealed the game in the fourth quarter. And the text said, I had to go to the bathroom at work because I started crying.
Wow.
They started crying, but knowing who they are, knowing how much the fans care, and knowing how much they want this success to happen, I understood them completely. And why those tears? There were tears of relief. There were tears of reassurance that maybe, just maybe, they have a football team that they could happily cheer for. And I'm excited. Like this last night changed the entire season for me, the same way that Chicago did, but in a much positive manner.
Wow. I mean, and I think a lot of folks share that perspective. For me, I enjoyed the game. It was a long time. Like last year watching the Commanders was not fun to me because you knew you were watching a burning, sinking ship, right? And now it's like, man, I'm watching the future play out. And the wins are a bonus right now. But playing well is just that's what I want. It makes me happy to watch this team again. And it's been a long time since I really said that. And I kind of look, I'm jumping all the way out the window with this next statement. I recognize that. But last night it hit me that like yesterday's game was better than any game RG3 played in his rookie season from a passing perspective. And that
Easily.
that's important though, because RG3 was a lot of fun as a rookie, but you always felt like there was a shelf life to what he brought to the table. Like the moment you saw it, you're like, this is so freaking cool. But there were things like he couldn't read the deep. And I'm not here to slander Robert Griffin III. Understand that. I'm just saying from a comparison perspective of the
That's what
moment.
I'm here for.
Yeah. You see, you're like, he can't read defenses, or he can, but it's always like go to the first read, right? Or he wants to wait till guys are like completely open before he throws it, all that kind of stuff. And you're like, man, but this read option game is creating wide open lanes for him to throw to. And so we found a way to be successful, but you always knew that there was a need to adjust, especially after his rookie season. And Shanahan talked about it a lot too, like, oh, we're working this and this is working right now, but we're going to need to get into more pro style concepts. I don't feel that way with Jayden, right? Like, I feel like he's a passer first, and he's truly a passer who has insane wheels. When he juked out that linebacker from Cincinnati, when he cut it in and the dude fell back and started playing Twister, it was like, it was just, man, it was great to see. But the fact that he was just dicing them up from the pocket, 90% completion percentage, 95.6 PFF rating, or whatever it was, And it was like, this is different. This is different than what we got in 2012. As much fun as 2012 was, this is not what we've had before. Now, the ability to sustain that, I can't predict that. I want them to, but it was just so much fun. And it was really kind of an eye-opening about how different this might actually be. And shout out to Cliff Kingsbury, who I know I was very critical of the hire of him. Now, there's still that whole mantra, like, halfway through the season, teams start to adjust, etc., to what he does. But man, he put it on last night, So that's my thoughts on Cincinnati. It was fun. Even if we didn't win that game last night, I was going to walk away a happy person because of what transpired there. But we won on top of it, which is just I don't like cherries, but it's the cherry on top of the sundae here for me. So, but as always, we must turn a page. So we're going to turn that page to Arizona because the Commanders are flying out to Arizona or flown out to Arizona to start their week preparation for the Cardinals. Jayden's out there. Eckler did not make the trip. I think, Eric, you just said, or Mike, one of you two. And they're practicing where Jayden started his college journey at, right? It's Arizona State University. And so we have the Cardinals coming up. Now, the Arizona Cardinals are a 1-2 football team. Based on the highlights that I've seen of them, I thought they were actually winning games. They're not. They are averaging 19 points a game. Again, highlights can be deceiving because all I saw was Kyler Murray throwing a pass, turning around and walking away before his guy caught it, and they made a great catch, and it was a touchdown. Great moment. But this Arizona team is another, what I like to call a mirror match in terms of they're trying to figure it out, just like we are. And so they have a quarterback who they believe in Kyler Murray. He's very active and stuff like that. But they are a team trying to figure it out at 1-2. I'm going to look up the Vegas line on this game because I'm very intrigued by that. But at any rate, their head coach.
I have you covered, sir. It's Arizona 3.5.
Arizona's favored by a field goal plus, basically. And their head coach came from the Eagles organization. And one thing that you know about him is he's going to have an aggressive physical football team. With that being said, let's get into how this matchup could play out, will play out, shall play out. Okay, Eric, as always, I want you to talk to us about what Arizona may try to accomplish offensively against the Commanders.
All right. The Arizona Cardinals, they are 1-2 team. Their 2 losses have come against 2 of the top teams in the NFL, though. They played the Bills in week 1, the Lions in week 3 this week. So those are 2 very good teams that they lost to. The one team that they played that was not one of the top teams in the NFL, the Rams, they put it on them 41-10. And that's where all the highlights Ellie was talking about came from, that game. They did whatever they wanted in that game because the Rams just this year are just may not be up to par. They got a lot of injury issues going on, and so there were some struggles on the defense. So when they played a defense that wasn't, if they're going up against a team that's not one of the top teams in the NFL, they fared pretty well. Of course, you've got Kyler Murray at quarterback. I have never been the biggest Kyler Murray fan. However, he does display very good mobility. He has the ability to throw a very good ball, cannon arm, really deceiving because he's got like giant hands and he can really sling the ball for somebody as small as he is. My favorite description of Kyler Murray, somebody tweeted it. It was like Kyler Murray ran like a child who just stole his mom's cell phone or something like that. That's so
Best
funny.
description ever.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, it was so good. But yeah, but he's a capable quarterback. He's given Washington problems in the past. And with this defensive line that we have, he's probably going to give us more problems. Marvin Harrison Jr., top receiver taken in the draft, looks the part. We kind of saw what Malik Neighbors did to us a couple of weeks ago. And Marvin Harrison Jr. is very capable of doing the same kind of thing. So there's definitely something to look forward to. James Conner, a solid running back. He's like a Brian Robinson type of running back. He's a yards churner, but he's very productive. Didn't have the best game last week. Didn't have the best game in week 1. But again, when he went up against the Rams, he had 130 yards. Trey Benson, solid, if not spectacular tight end. They've got pieces is what I'm saying. They've struggled against top teams. Washington's defense is not a top team. So as far as what, how they plan to attack Washington's defense, I mean, at this point, it looks like you can do whatever you want if you're going to attack Washington's defense. James Conner can run all over you, can run all over a defense like this. Kyler Murray can pass and run all over a defense like this. So as far as game plan goes, I mean, I think whatever they need to do is going to be there. I hate to say it. I mean, as well as Jayden Daniels played last night, it kind of disguised the fact that Joe Burrow was really good yesterday. Like, he was accurate. He threw for 300 and what yards and 3 touchdowns. So, look, the guy, he had a fantastic game. It's just kind of like a footnote to Jayden Daniels' game, unfortunately. But a good quarterback, or even Daniel Jones, honestly, can carve up this defense. You saw it 2 weeks ago. So I don't think there has to be any kind of special way to attack this defense. I think this defense is just what it is, and they're going to give up big plays and yards because that's the kind of defense that this is. And so as far as a game plan, it's just go score points because you're going to be able to do it against Washington's defense.
Yeah, and I think the key for us is to hold them to field goals, not touchdowns, when we get close. But Mike's going to talk to us more about that as a defensive coordinator. Mike, what are we doing with this dynamic Arizona offense?
Absolutely nothing. No, I'm joking. Last night, they're running, and for those that read the articles, you'll hear more about this when I post the article later this week. They're running an ultimate bend but don't break defense right now. And like you said, their strategy is to pray that the Cardinals aren't making field goals on Sunday afternoon in Arizona, because they're going to be able to move the ball. And it's not like the Cardinals are some juggernaut on offense right now. They're 17th in passing, but they're 9th in running. And that's what Washington's been struggling with. They're converting, I forgot the exact percentage, but they're 4th in the league in third down conversions right now. They can move the ball on Washington easily. But when they do get in the red zone, I don't know. I just feel like the height of Murray might limit them a bit. So the game may have to become more horizontal. And I don't know. I just feel like Washington may be able to slow them down in the red zone. It's not like the secondary has been playing on fire. So if Forbes does play, it will be nice to see how he matches up against Harrison Jr. I'm looking forward to that because there's really no other cornerback on the team that has a shot at slowing him down, in my opinion. So if Forrest can come and play a little bit better than he played the first 2 weeks of the season before his injury, all signs are pointing to him returning on Sunday. I think it'll help the defense a bit, but they're 29th, I believe, in defense. Yeah, they're 29th in total defense. They're giving up 5 yards to Curry, 31st against the pass, 17th against the run, and they're allowing the worst third down percentage at 61.29% for the season. So again, it could get ugly. We're going to have to rely on the offense. I'm going to tell you that this week. I'm going to tell you next week against the Browns. I'm going to tell you 3 weeks against the Ravens, and every game after that, because the defense, unfortunately, for this season, they're not doing much at all. Get used to it.
Yeah, and they made some adjustments yesterday, which I thought was interesting. Jamin Davis was playing a stand-up linebacker position last night a little bit. They put Sandwich out as an outside corner instead of in the slot, and they put
Igbenogany,
in the slot. And it didn't seem to change much in terms of outcomes, but they're trying. And what it lets you know is that they have some questions about their personnel.
One more thing real quick about the defense. If somebody can find Jonathan Allen, let him know that we're playing football for 60 minutes against these other 31 teams, that'll be nice. Oh, and when you get Allen, also tell Deron Payne that it's okay to tackle a player behind the line of scrimmage. Like, once you get him in your grasp, you don't have to let him go. You can bring them down to the ground, even violently if you want them to. But hey, what do I know?
Yeah, and I mean, we signed edge rushers this year, and congratulations on Jean Baptiste having his first sack last night against the Bengals. But I mean, our pass rush it's so inconsistent. And then like when we blitz, the blitz always seems to get picked up by the offensive line of the other team, and then there's just gaping holes behind that pass rush. And
Not good.
Joe Burrow
Not
was
good.
just picking that apart last night. So with Kyler Murray, you want to rush to keep him in the pocket, because he can't see over it, and he's better on the run, on the move. And so our pass rush, creating as many gaps in our rush lanes as we do right now, concerns me a great deal with Kyler Murray this coming week. But all right, let's flip the side of the ball. We're going to go to offense for the Commanders. Eric, how might Cliff Kingsbury, who was red hot on Monday night, attack this Arizona defense?
Well, yeah, I mean the key to the game there is Jayden Daniels. Obviously, I don't think I'm breaking new ground by saying that. The fact that last night Jayden Daniels didn't just use his legs as a weapon to run, but used his legs as a weapon to allow his arm to make plays, keeping his eyes downfield when he started to leave the pocket, when you got him off his spot. Again, that was my biggest gripe about him going back to last year. He unlocked that part of his game last night. And by doing that, if he can continue to build on that skill alone, how to navigate the pocket and throw on the run without just, taking off. You think his legs are dangerous now. Think about how dangerous his legs are going to be when the defense doesn't know if he's going to run or pass. And that's the real key. And he was able to do that last night, and it worked to a T. So we want to build more on that. The Cardinals can be run on. They're bottom third of the league in rush defense. I believe I forgot to check that, but they're not 19th in the league. Sorry, giving up 120 yards a game on the ground. So obviously the run game is going to be very important. Last night, the Bengals really just stuffed the box and basically said, "Jayden, you're going to have to beat us with your arm." And he did that. So that's not going to really be the best option for the Cardinals. You can't show him 8-man fronts all day because you know that he's going to throw over top of you. He's got that connection to Terry and the receivers now. Zach Ertz is still going to be a weapon. So I think there's going to be run lanes there for Brian Robinson. Unfortunately, like we said earlier, Austin Eckler's probably not going to play this week. Jeremy McNichols is going to being the backup role. We'll see how effective he is. Now, real quick, hats off to McNichol going back to last night, because that touchdown throw to McLaurin, don't know if you saw it, that blitz pickup that McNichol had was like Clinton Portis. Like there was a rusher coming free right up the middle. McNichols put that guy on his back. It was beautiful. So hats off to him. That's probably why he made the team, because that was a great blitz pickup. So I feel good, obviously, in the pass game, if that's the kind of thing that he can do. What can he give you as a runner? We don't really know. So there may be more of a workload there on Brian Robinson, maybe Jayden Daniels with his legs a little bit. But I think you're going to run because it's going to be there. And then when they start committing to the run, that's when Jayden can work his magic. He can go over the top. Again, if he can just keep progressing with sliding out of the pocket, navigating the pocket, rolling when he starts to run, pull up, keep his eyes downfield and hit somebody downfield like he was doing last night. I mean, sky's the limit for him at this point. That's the only thing that's been holding him back as a quarterback in my eyes. And he started doing that last night. Hopefully just the light went on and we'll see that for the rest of his career. And that's going to be fantastic. So, as far as keys to the game, you're going to have to run the ball and take your shots in the passing game, because they're going to be there. The Cardinals have an okay defense, not great. There's going to be plays there. And I think we'll be able to take advantage of some opportunities for sure.
Yeah, and also shout out to Ben Sinnott last night with some blocking
Yes.
on that Eckler run, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. So somebody was out there just blowing dudes up on the way for Eckler's run down the left side. Phenomenal. Great blocking in the run game. Mike, if you're the Cardinals defensive coordinator, how are you stopping the Commanders offense?
It's funny. I feel just as perplexed and confused about stopping Washington's offense as I am with Arizona's, which is a great feeling to have as a Washington fan. I mean, the offense is crazy. Like you just said, you stop the run by putting more people in the box, and all of a sudden, that McLaurin to Daniels connection looks pretty tempting all of a sudden. So you're going to have to start defending that. And unfortunately for the Cardinals, their strength in their defense is in the front seven, not necessarily the secondary. They have names like Zayden Collins. I'm sure everybody remembers him. The standout from Tulsa, I believe he was drafted from. Their leading PFF scorer is the other edge defender, Dennis Gardick. Not too familiar with him, but he seems to be balling right now for them this season. They got a linebacker, Mac Wilson Sr. I actually seen some tape on him. He's not that bad. But their star, quote unquote, is everybody's favorite, Buda Baker. Outstanding safety slash what they call box safety. He's going to be all over the place, and he's going to be the one to factor in, kind of like how teams are going to have to factor in with Washington and Louvu. He's the Louvu of their defense, so to speak. He just plays safety instead of linebacker, but he is going to be the one bringing the force, bringing the hammer, and yeah, Daniels is going to have to make sure he pays attention to where he is on the field at all times, because not only can he disrupt you with the pass, but he's just quick enough to keep up with Daniels. So I feel like maybe not as fast, but quick, like I said. So for Arizona, I would just try to attack Washington and be as physical with Daniels as possible. You know he's going to scramble. You know he's going to try to get out the pocket. I would just try to be physical with him and hope I can slow the offense down, because right now, last two games, the answer has been no. You can't stop watching the offense. They haven't punted in the last two games, haven't turned it over the last two games. They running on you. They throwing short passes. They throwing deep passes. They throwing intermediate passes. They hit you with the screens, the draws, the read options. This offense is really hard to stop right now, and the Cardinals could be in trouble. For real.
Yeah, the offense is attacking all three levels of the field, and it's really nice to see. All right, Eric, give me your key player in this game.
Oh boy, how about Tress Way? Is he going to get off the bench? No. As far as a key player, I think it's going to be Brian Robinson Jr. this week with the absence of Austin Eckler. Like I said before, they're going to have to run the ball, and the runs will be there. If you get Brian Robinson up in that 90 to 100 yard range, I think you're going to have a really good day.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good choice. For me, I think it's Noah Brown. He's been highly effective. I like what he's done so far. He's been there. He's been a security blanket for Jayden, and that's really awesome to see. So I want to see that continue. I think Mike has stepped away, maybe.
There he is.
There he is. Mike, you're on mute, buddy, but who's your key player for the game?
James Conner. We are very susceptible versus the run. And yeah, we're giving up about 5 yards of carry, like I said earlier. Him running the ball is very concerning.
Yeah, definitely going to be a problem. Hopefully we find a way to stop it. All right, Eric, give me your score predictions for the game.
All right, I'm 0-3 this year, but the Commanders are 2-1, so I don't see that as a bad thing. So I'm going to go ahead and be the bad guy here. It's going to be a high-scoring affair because I don't think either defense can stop either offense. So I'm going to take Cardinals 31-28 because I'm always wrong. So Cardinals 31-28.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take that. Well, at least I understand where you're coming from. Mike, what's your score predictions?
I got last week wrong, so my goal to undefeated the season has been broken once again before the end of September, but that's okay. A new streak begins. I'm gonna pick Washington with the upset. I don't know if I'm still feeling high from last night or what, but I just feel like at some point the defense is going to make the stop to win the game or to slow momentum down. The offense seems to be cooking. Give me Washington 31. No, Washington 34, Arizona 27.
Okay. I'm going to go way out on a limb of optimism and say Washington 42, Arizona 19. That's what it's going to be. I'm feeling it after that Monday night game. So,
Mhm.
as a reminder to all listeners, and thank you guys for listening and watching, go check out commanders247.com. There are some great pieces being put up by Eric and Mike on a weekly basis. Yes, I'm dragging my feet. I am going to get it done, though. And like, comment, subscribe, stay in tune with the podcast. Share it with your friends if you like. Otherwise, go Commanders. And we're 2-1 on our way to 3-1. I can feel it, like Phil Collins. Have a great evening, everybody. We are out of here.